All right, according to this, we are live. Let me close that, because otherwise this is going to drain my damn battery. Call the meeting to order with roll call. Joe Bachman here, Morgan McCabe,
Here.
Tony Martin,
Here.
Shalana Bachman,
Here.
Councilmember Dave Anderson.
Here.
Do I have a motion to approve the March 2025 meeting minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. No ordinances, old business, 55th anniversary of Twin Oaks Park celebration. Do we have anything new that we need to discuss on that right
Did we
now?
settle on a date for that, or are we still dancing around?
Let me
Can you
check
reference
previous
that?
notes.
I need that information.
I believe we.
I didn't recall.
I think it was in last month's meeting minutes.
It
and I didn't
was.
print an extra set to bring with me today
I
because
have
I
last
divvied
week.
them out.
I have last month's meeting minutes.
Yeah, I see. I can remember if we decided on it the meeting before, or we decided on it last meeting or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, we talked about it.
let me see. I can pull up the meeting minutes from last few months here. If this thing will decide whether or not it wants me on Wi-Fi, I'll pull that up.
Remember, we were steering it around
The 21st was tentative, subject to change.
July,
June.
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 June 21st was our tentative date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'll work very well for me. It showed
21st with a small question mark.
Yep.
When are we going to finalize that, do you think? Next month? Next month is May.
May.
Yeah.
So we should probably finalize it this month.
Mm-hmm.
You said that date's not gonna work for you, Morgan, because you have a show that night? Okay. So I know we,
I think it's opening weekend.
Oh,
yeah, I know we had discussed that.
We talked about the 28th,
Hang on a second.
and I
June
don't believe
21.
that worked.
Yeah,
That
The show
28th
runs
did not work.
20th through the 22nd, or
Let's see.
through the first week of July, so.
okay. Yeah, because we couldn't do the weekend before because that was Father's Day.
Yeah, so the 21st, no, the 21st is what we have marked on the calendar, yes.
Yeah,
Your opening night is the 27th, it's a week before your.
Oh,
Your
so
opening
that
night
wouldn't
is
be
on
so
Friday,
bad.
the 27th.
I
This
had
is-
it in my head. It was okay.
Yeah,
So
Saturday, the 21st, I even have it down here.
sure about that?
Mm-hmm.
Cause, okay.
You can check the website, we'll keep a question mark on it, but I think that's one of the reasons why we steered it to that.
okay. So we'll say it's the 21st pending her verification on,
Okay, and we were thinking of something that started about 3 or 4 in the afternoon and went into the early evening.
I thought we were starting earlier.
Noon,
I need
maybe?
to try and pull up the
Okay,
meeting minutes.
time, that's not as critical.
Because I know we talked times, we talked a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because we need to make sure our food trucks are coming and
Right.
whatnot, and then I'm gonna try to see if I can squeeze somebody for money for
So,
music.
how do we want to divvy up tasks there? I mean, I have contacts and have talked to the food truck people before if you want me to take care of that one. Okay,
That'll work.
Okay.
so we want both Bay City if they're available and Angela,
Heavenly,
Heavenly Bites.
Yep.
And if they're not available, then we'll do some research, right?
Mhm.
What else are we going to have at the event? We want the gentleman that gave us the plaque and
Mhm.
everything,
yep.
Mhm.
our ex-Marine.
Marines,
Mhm.
as many as he can muster.
And I have a contact for someone else who supposedly has some information. So I need to get on the horn with those people and see if they're available.
Okay.
What else are we going to do besides have them speak? Is there other,
Oh, we talked about doing the music.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can scare up some music.
how many weeks out are we from
Uh,
that? We have 6 weeks, correct?
Oh, we have
Yeah,
more than that.
more than 6 weeks.
Yeah, we just started April.
Yeah.
Well, this is it's part of this information is tangential, but it does apply. We're not eligible for a legacy Transforming Lake County grant because we
Mhm.
got one last year.
Okay,
Okay,
But we can apply for a sponsorship for us, an event. And that won't work for Lunch and Learn
right.
because Lunch and Learn takes place over multiple weeks and the max that they do is like a week. So we could, if we decide that we want to pursue the music, we can probably investigate getting some assistance with that for
Okay.
the event.
Yeah,
I think this would be a good
and-
Yeah, like
event
11
for it.
weeks, so.
Yeah, because you just need 6 weeks.
Okay.
It's a rolling deadline.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. let's-
Yeah, I think that would be, this would be a great event for it.
yeah, I do too.
Mhm.
Who else do we need to enlist in helping with that?
So I saw Amethyst today.
How is
and
she?
She's doing well. She was interested in helping out in more events. I talked to her about helping out at Easter. She might be interested in helping out at something like
Mhm.
this.
Right?
So I told her to give you a call because she already had your number.
Yeah.
So you might be hearing from her.
Wonderful.
Do we need to secure some speakers from some of our elder statesmen in town that might remember the
Sharon,
park?
Sue. Would be the logical,
Yeah.
see if we
who-
can get them
et
to,
cetera.
Maybe Josh will come on.
Yeah, anybody else that's of the right age where they might actually physically remember them.
what about Leon?
About who?
Leon?
Leon, what's his name? Yeah.
Well,
Wallach.
Okay.
WAL. Okay.
Or his mom, whatever.
Well, there are a number of people that we interviewed for the,
Yeah, I was thinking.
Oral
yeah,
history.
it would be good.
that might be the gentleman that lives down near Roxanne.
Mhm.
I can't pronounce his last name. It has more consonants than I know what to do with. But
Yeah.
he's a good speaker. Yeah, there's, I will review that and make a list.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that'd probably be the best list to go off of
Yeah,
right
that would be
there.
great.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I don't know how Leon's mom is doing anymore at this point.
Yeah. We'll have to find out.
But, you know, but we can ask him
yeah,
to see.
okay.
Julie.
So we got speakers, we're looking into music, got food covered.
Games and stuff.
We could do cornhole tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
What can
Or
we-
we could do a horseshoe tournament.
We could do-
Well,
I could do both.
the horseshoes might depend on how much rain we get beforehand, because that area,
gets buggy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking if we do the cornhole, we keep that over on the north side of the park,
Yeah.
you know, northeast, in that area. We could set up something in the shade out in that corner because it'll be pretty
Mhm.
steamy and hot, and that'll give us but we might need to move some picnic tables over to that area.
Well, by then I'll have a pickup truck again to do that with, so.
Well, we can do it with the one we
Yeah.
have.
Getting a new truck.
Yeah, they're having me turn in the Jeep and put me back in a Dodge Ram, which,
Making them do the decals again and everything.
I think better have decals when I show up down there.
Okay. Should we get prizes for the tourney?
So it'd be a cash
Cash
sign up,
prize. Cash
So, yeah.
sign up and prize.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we have we could set up half the basketball court for kids that want to shoot baskets, or we can do the whole area. But we also have all the sports equipment that we got from Centier
Yeah,
donation. So we have, for the kids, we could set up an area, because it's not adult volleyball net, it's not adult soccer
Yeah.
yeah,
cones. It's aimed at children.
yeah.
K through 12. I think
Yeah.
kind of 8 through 12 would probably
Mhm.
look at it and go, but we still have it, so we could set some stuff up for kiddos.
Yeah,
All right.
We did talk about getting a banner for it.
A banner,
Yeah.
yes, we did.
Were we still thinking that?
I think so,
I think
yes.
it's a good,
Okay.
Yeah,
good
it's a
way to
investment,
advertise.
Yeah,
it saves on paper
Mhm.
and distribution.
Yeah.
Nobody has to make signs and plant them and then be sad when they disappear because somebody decided to steal them
Yeah.
from whatever
Yeah.
purpose they're stealing them for.
Did we talk about, other vendors? I thought we had talked about doing.
Right, I didn't know if we wanted to solicit other vendors. I haven't had good results with that on Facebook. I don't know how
Well,
we get
I'm
them.
talking about doing like a sign up for similar like Rummage,
Yeah,
you
exactly,
know, not as many spaces,
right.
maybe
Mhm.
just do the.
I mean, we probably don't want just Rummage at it, though. If,
Yeah.
since we're
Yeah.
doing the Rummage, I think we should maybe focus it on a little higher end, like if people that are,
Pop-up vendor event?
yeah, pop-up vendor kind of an idea. And
Yeah.
it's not, I mean, you can have vintage and antiques, but
Yeah,
not just, you know, your
Market
kids'
as-
worn out jeans.
Market it more as a vendor event instead
Yeah.
of Rummage.
Well, and I think if we market it more as an arts and craft,
Mhm.
that'll deter people from just bringing a pile of old clothes and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it as an arts and crafts event.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
is there anybody that we want to contact that might be interested in helping us sponsor it? To defray our costs? We could ask Strack and Van Til. They've been pretty good to us, but it's new ownership now.
Do we have a historical society?
Lake Station does. New Chicago doesn't.
Mhm.
I mean, like Lake Station residents do use the park.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
It wouldn't-
you know,
yeah. It wouldn't
there does
hurt.
seem to be a kind of us and them thing
Yeah,
happening
it-
there.
It wouldn't hurt, especially if we invite them to it and ask them if they have stuff to include.
Mhm.
Okay,
So
I can check on that.
I mean, it's a historical event, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't hurt to include them in on it, maybe.
Right. I
Yeah.
was thinking more people that might be financial sponsors. Because
Right.
obviously
Yeah,
we can
Yeah,
get,
they wouldn't. have
they
Yeah.
wouldn't
much.
give us money. And obviously I definitely want to invite the library because they
Oh, yeah,
always want to
as-
be at each and every
Absolutely.
event. And maybe they can do a story corner for
Mhm.
kids or something.
Yeah.
So as far as like money sponsors go, we could hit up, I mean, we have the list of businesses in town. You know, we could hit them up. We could ask, we could ask some of the businesses, the banners that are on the school,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we could hit some of them up for it, you
Yep.
know? Cause some of those places are, you know, if you're doing
Well, this
especially a
would-
historical thing,
Hit up Gills.
Yeah,
We get all our gas there.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, they're supposed to be more, friendly towards the Parks Board now, so,
Who is?
They
Gills,
always told me no, always.
yeah, we'll discuss that.
But but this
Later.
is also an opportunity to give them billing as part of a sponsor for our celebration by buying we'll make a banner with their names on it because they bought a banner to put on the fence.
Yeah,
So, and if they want to buy one and have it in time to be part of that, I don't know if we can put a spin on the banner sales that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah, and then we do, I mean, out of that, if we collect $1,000, and if we take $60 to make a banner with everybody's name on it for the
Yeah,
event,
yeah.
then it's good return
Yeah.
on that $60.
no, I
I
agree.
think. And maybe who are like the oldest businesses in town who've been around a while?
The real estate company?
Yeah,
That would be a Sue question.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a Sue question.
that's gonna definitely be a Sue question there.
I don't know if we have any businesses that have been around since.
And it might be a good question
That.
for Sue, if we can pick her, or Sharon, if we can pick their brain for a moment and say, who are some of the oldest, longest standing relationships and business people in town
Yeah,
that might want to be part of this celebration?
Yeah.
You know,
You wanna pick Sue's brain on that tomorrow while
I
you're?
will make it out.
oh, what, are you working there full time now? Would you do quick?
I do it like 11 to 4.
Oh,
Yeah, in the.
what about work?
I split shift.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I'll explain it all at dinner.
gotcha.
It's longer to explain than.
Yeah,
Alrighty, well, that's a lot of stuff. And then that's the meaty part, right?
Yeah,
So when we get this much accomplished, everything else will be cake.
Yep. all right. Then we'll head on to Easter 2025. Tara got all the prizes and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you, Tara.
Yes, thank you.
We've already got the dates all set for doing the stuff, making the baskets and stuff. We are gonna do it at the school. We'll use the police office to put them all together.
Oh, okay.
Um,
We're not coming here.
no,
Okay.
no, we're just gonna do it down there because Sharon's got a key anyway, and the janitors are there until like 10 o'clock. So
So we can come in at night.
yeah,
Okay.
Oh, we never went and counted eggs at the,
yeah, we need to
Park.
do that still.
They are in the snack shack.
Oh,
We had to move a lot of stuff.
okay.
yeah,
So that
To
we
make-
could meet with the plumber yesterday. So I took the Easter stuff that I found in the bathroom.
Okay.
And put it into the snack shack.
okay.
So our egg
Thank
order
you.
has been made and we are tracking for when it's going to arrive of our pre-stuffed eggs.
Those are all in the police.
They're all done.
Yep, they're all in the police department already.
Excellent.
We got in early. I think we got in early enough for even saving the $5. I
Yeah,
don't remember or not, but
Way to go.
um,
$5 as
Well-
big an order as that is.
well,
Oh, well,
$5 per.
per lot.
lot.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
no, that's helpful.
Um,
And we are going to do the, I'm just double checking, understanding, we're going to do the ADA
yes.
In the
on
south
the
lot.
south lot.
Yes.
Yep.
And we need to like get the blower over there and clear sticks and
Mhm.
stuff from
Which
it.
I do have a new blower for us.
Right, you mentioned.
So.
I put out a bid to Sally and Dora Luz at NHS regarding cleanup on the 12th.
Mhm.
And if they want to come in and help set up on the 16th, 19th, sorry.
Okay.
So we'll see. I haven't heard back
That'd
yet.
be great because getting all those eggs put out kills my back every year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It wouldn't hurt to say something on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just say, if you want to, come play
Come
Easter
on
Bunny,
down.
come on down.
Which the Easter Bunny have been contacted by Sue. Easter Bunny had hip surgery, so
Oh,
instead
no.
of being brought down in the fire truck, they're being brought down in the rescue vehicle. So
Oh,
they can't get up into the fire truck right now.
okay.
So
But we'll be ambulatory
Do they
by
need-
then.
Do,
Okay.
do they need a blocker for some of the more enthusiastic children?
I think it's more. I think it's more of a they're having a hard time getting into high
the-
vehicles. Yeah,
Okay.
but probably wouldn't hurt to have a bodyguard.
Poor
During the
bunny.
emergency, we could bring him out on a gurney.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, we're all set and ready to go for Easter.
Good.
Except for cleaning
Um,
up the park.
Yeah.
The only thing we may have to do is get some. I don't know what all Tara bought. I don't know if she bought the baskets and stuff too. I'd
If
have
it's
to.
in the police.
Where's the,
No, all
where's the
stuff
receipt?
Tara, all
It's
the stuff-
at,
we have
I can,
some
okay.
baskets in the,
Ask Sue for, I'll ask Sue if she knows.
I would say all the bad. I know.
this looks like games. Games and bubble ones and toys and paddle markers and some art supplies and
Okay, so we need to. pick
yeah,
up
it does
some
not
baskets.
look like baskets. There was a box with what I believe are some baskets
Okay.
Okay.
that they may, I don't know where they were last year. I think that you brought these over from town hall.
Probably.
Okay.
I did not open it to see what state they were in. So,
Okay.
but we had a lot of eggs, the ones that we need to stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because we're gonna use those for doing the.
ADA.
Well, I
Oh,
was
and
thinking
the-
pulling, because if we do that for the ADA, we gotta buy all the candy and everything
Yeah.
else. We already have pre-stuffed.
Yeah.
We'll just take, a couple hundred,
Yeah.
to use for the ADA and
baskets and the prizes.
Right.
That, yeah,
It's
it's been a long day.
the empty eggs are gonna be able to put the paper slips in with
Right.
saying if you want a prize or want a
Mhm.
basket.
Yeah.
We just have to remember to create a few baskets and prizes for the ADA one, since that's the first time.
I was gonna say, did anybody tell Tara?
Probably not. So, we got a little bit of time to go
Okay.
and grab stuff if we need to, so.
Yeah.
All right, rummage in the park, really nothing to update there. We got the dates set, we've got the,
Besides us, is anybody else reserved for it yet?
I don't know, I have to get to look at the receipt book. But I am gonna spam that one out, tomorrow. And try and get people to sign up. Storage container, so we have the quote for the storage container that we approved last year and was never able to order. The quote has remained the same. So since this is a new year, I figured we probably should, vote on this again. Are you guys, does someone want to make a motion to approve getting this container to be able to store all of our animatronics and whatnot in?
I move that we vote on getting a big blue box to put our animatronics in.
Do I have a second?
Second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries. Snack Shack,
As we're talking about the box,
yes,
so I went out there and looked. It seems like a light dusting of ground up stuff out there. It doesn't, I guess I was imagining like a few inches of stuff compressed down.
yeah, I looked at it and now that it's rained, pretty hard, I need to go look at it again. But he did say, I don't know if he brought the, compactor out there yet or not. But if we think we need a little bit more on it,
Yeah, I guess I was imagining like 3 or 4 inches worth of this stuff crunched down to make a kind of a uniform surface, but maybe I'm overthinking.
is it level to the parking lot? That's the big thing.
I mean, it seems to be level at the starting edge of the parking lot. I haven't checked it for level all the way through, and we need to clear out some trees and stuff at the back end
Yeah,
because
they
it
just still need to be.
still didn't go far enough, I don't think.
Okay.
It looked patchy to me. It looked like there were areas that had millings and areas that did not.
Well, it's got millings, it's got number 2 stone. So it's kind of a mixture. I can look at it again, but at this point, when nothing would be done to it until after middle of the month, after Easter. So, I can see if they'll let me run the equipment, but I really don't want to break their stuff.
Heavens no.
Let's
Please don't do
inspect. Let's
that.
go down and take a
Let's-
look
Yeah,
and
And
I'll
determine
kind of
maybe we
see what you
have to
think.
end up putting it parallel to the parking lot as opposed to intersecting.
well, we're only talking 20 feet. And the last time I measured it back to those trees, I measured 20 feet.
Oh, good, good,
From
good.
the edge of the parking lot.
Okay.
So, and even if it
comes onto the parking
comes
lot.
onto the parking lot a couple feet, we're right there at that big loop. So it's not like, anybody's gonna risk driving into it unless they just whip a tight turn and pull through. So,
Okay, good.
What side are the doors on?
uh,
The ends or the short ends or the long sides?
no, short ends.
Short ends.
Yep.
So they'll face the parking lot.
Yep.
And that's ideally what we want.
Yeah, that's the way they load it is, because that's one of the questions they ask is how you want it loaded. Do you want the doors facing off the rear of the truck or the door facing the driver? We want it facing the driver so that when he drops, it's
Mm.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what are they saying about time lag, or did we get into that with them?
I didn't get into that with them this time. I just asked for a new quote
Okay.
and
Yeah, because it would be nice to know if we are going to have it in time for cleaning up for Easter, if we have to pump that.
let's see.
Because we also have other issues to deal with in order to make the washrooms usable.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and that's my primary concern about the Easter egg hunt. So,
The only thing they ask is if we have 80 street feet for them to pull out as they're dropping it, which we do. I already measured that.
Yep.
That is all I've got though.
Okay. Maybe reach out to her.
I do need to have Tammy send our tax exempt certificate to them, and they can do a PO for a net 30 from the delivery date. All right.
yeah, I
so,
noticed they were missing that.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll contact them tomorrow. Because actually I have a copy of the tax exempt form. I can get a hold of them and find out, what we would be looking at if I told them, yes, order it, have it delivered. That way I can get a date from them and figure out who can be there for delivery, because they do want a on-site name and cell phone number for the driver.
Yep.
Which is probably a good idea, seeing as most places you tell them our park address and they get lost.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, because we were looking at that GIS. Huntington was sort of as designated
Yeah.
as going straight through, and it doesn't. It dead ends at the park.
mm,
That's what people. I still think that we need to put a sign out there that says this is 3101 for deliveries. 3101 Huntington,
yeah.
and I'd buy that
Mhm.
sign from
Just an address.
our sign lady.
Sign. Yeah.
All right. So I will get a hold of them tomorrow, find out a delivery date, and I imagine coming from Chicago, it's probably going to be pretty quick.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Mhm.
Be nice.
and then let's see, new snack shack. We need, being a new year, we need to get new quotes. So
Yeah, we need
we'll
to-
Right.
I'll work on getting a hold of Kenny, get new quotes.
Okay.
Because Velocity, I stopped and talked to Velocity today. They actually had the key for this building because they were fixing
Oh.
the urinal.
They're here, there, and
Um,
everywhere.
Mhm.
So, because he was asking if we were still going to go through with getting the new concession stand also.
Ask me that question too.
So I told him that, once we know more, we'll reach out for quotes and all that jazz. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, so that's the updates on that. New business, lunch and learn. Which I think is technically old business still.
Right. It is old business. Did you see the article about Nick Alessandri in the
Yes.
Times? Yes. It was an
Or
interesting.
Post-Tribune.
The Post Tribune, Chicago Tribune, Post Tribune. Yeah, they were about to go into a big thing with Legacy about farm to table for the
Mhm.
school and buying local and everything when the order came that you can no longer do that. Also, they hit the conversation that I had with him just prior to that, and then we said we would speak within the next 10 to 12 days. Hasn't been quite that long yet, so we haven't spoken. He's intent on doing it this summer.
Okay.
It will be shorter. It will not be as long as it was last summer,
Mhm.
but he feels that it may be the last time, but he is anticipating that they will be able to do at least a month. Just June. Well, it might not even be a full month,
Mhm.
but based on that conversation, that's what we're kind of looking at. I have had people reach out and want to know, and if they can come back and do what they did for us before, which is really fantastic because we have 12 different people out there
Mhm.
that, distinct from, local artists who show up and say, here's a paintbrush, go to work. So it'll be interesting to see what we're able to accomplish with that. They have cut that program, so going forward, they're not going to have that kind of as good a food, if they even have a free lunch program anymore. That's still to be determined. What was the other thing I was going to mention about it? one of the other things that they learned is that parents will not be getting EBT cards for their children this summer, which is $120 per child, which,
Mhm.
kid can eat that in 10 days, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can eat that in
I was gonna
Yeah.
say
What are you talking about?
And that's what was previously issued to parents per child enrolled in school, in the free lunch programs. They're not going to be getting that. And he thinks that will mean that the need is greater
Mhm.
for him to be serving lunches.
Yeah.
We talked about several other concerns that we have about the program, given, the circumstances in town or demographics and so on, and just people's concerns and fears. So we still have to work some issues out about that are kind of sensitive.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, we can't apply for a Transform Lake County grant
Mhm.
for a stipend for help us with the program this year because we received one already. Sent here, I doubt, is because we historically have received from them before.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Many of the grants that I'm looking at are matching grants. We don't have funds to match, even though we don't need a lot.
Mhm.
It's most of them start at 25 grand to begin with,
Yeah.
and then they want you to have 25, and we don't spend that on this program. It cost $213 last year to run that program from our point of view. I did the receipts and submitted the final report on the program for last year. So we are in good standing with Legacy and can apply if there are other things that are applicable. But I've been combing through the grant station stuff and haven't found another source. So we have a lot of supplies on hand, but we might need to think about how much we want to put toward the program. I have not turned in my receipts from last year. So I will, that money is still there in the donations, that $200. If we, I don't know that I can support it every summer, but, that would give us $200 to buy supplies. And that's about all we needed last year for a 41-day program.
Let me reach out to our company
Yeah.
and
Okay.
see if they'll be willing to do a donation for the lunch and learn for the kids.
Excellent. That would be great. While we're on grants, I didn't say to put this in here, but we got I'm sorry, but will not give you money to buy containers to put flowers in because we don't know where your water source is from the master gardeners.
Yeah.
So I'm just reporting on that. But that's about it for lunch and learn.
Okay.
Mhm.
Music, bands.
Music, bands. I've been I need to put together a presentation on that so I can send it out to some people. Do we know the Dark in the Park dates? Did we?
Yes.
Because I did not get those onto my calendar. I know we talked about the weekend of the 25th and the weekend of the 18th.
We decided to go with the weekend of the 18th. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
what I was
Yeah.
kind of remembering.
Mhm.
We decided that it works better weather-wise and attendance-wise.
Mhm.
So 18th, 19th, and 20th.
17th, 18th, 19th.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Here, I'm looking at the calendar cockeyed here. Correct. You are right. I am on the 17th. 18th. And 19th, not the 20th. Because what I'm going to do is try to see if I can put together something where we can try to sponsor some music for the first 2 nights of Dark in the Park.
Mhm.
And then, and for the 55th.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna see what I can put together for that, see if I can make anything happen.
Cool.
So we shall see. I talked with them I talked with Tom Lounges, like I reported last month, and he was throwing around numbers,
Mhm.
that he could supply acts, but I don't know now if we have enough time, so we'll see. And I also called them over at Hard Rock Casino,
Mhm.
and they said, send us a proposal, see, let us know what you're wanting. So we'll do that. And then there's this other grant that Morgan steered me toward today. So we might be able to parlay this into something.
Yeah, the
Okay.
legacy sponsorships
Right.
is
Yeah, the
basically
event.
what they are.
Okay.
So they would be a good sponsor for the music aspect
Yeah.
of a couple of things, if
Mhm.
not both, one or the other.
So in the works. And now that I've got these dates, we're just going to right now assume that the 21st of June is for the 55th.
Yep.
And then 17, 18, and 19.
Yep.
And of course, for music, I don't want the 19th, I just want 17th and 18th. All right.
All right.
Well, again,
You need a drink of water?
I need to get over this.
All right, last thing is the plumbing, which, when I talked to Velocity today, he was very impressed that, there's really minimal, outside the faucets, a couple of faucets leaking, that's all we need replaced. I did talk to him about getting a quote for that, and he said for a couple faucets, and installing and everything, 500.
That's way more than we need to spend, I think.
Yeah.
Tony can do it for a lot less.
Okay. So I wasn't sure with how old those things are.
I was going to go look and measure. So before we go further, I will go measure and see what I can find out.
Okay.
I'll try to go there tomorrow and see if I can measure and find out what we need. Did they say if it was actually the taps and did they need the lines that go through them or?
No, he did not. He told me we needed 2 new faucets.
Yeah, I think it's just the actual.
The faucets.
Yeah, it's not leaking from the lines or anything.
And I
I don't know how
asked
they
him,
didn't get those drained. I don't understand.
They were already frozen.
they were already frozen when they
Okay.
came to do it.
I guess we
So,
waited too late.
but yeah, he just said, because I was like, what, they were fine in October? They worked just fine.
Yeah.
$500.
So they got frozen. Did Robert George get over to
Yep.
fix the meter?
Yep.
So it's not leaking
No.
anymore. So
So
we
what
can-
happened? What happened there was, normally when they put the meter in, they'll turn on the water and make sure that they got it down tight enough. I told them not to turn it on. That way, if there were any pipe breaks, we didn't have a sudden rush of water coming through that garage.
Mhm.
So I wanted velocity there
When it got turned on.
when it got
which
turned
I-
on.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. So,
But we can turn them back on now and
Yeah.
have running water.
yeah,
Because if we need to clean,
yeah,
it
Yeah.
would be nice. They relit the hot water heater for us, so we'll
Yep.
have hot water. And,
Good.
once we get creatures moved from the bathroom and
Mhm.
wherever they need to go, then I can get in there and clean and mop.
We should bring him back over here so they can scare Chief when he comes in. That's why you never liked to have him in a town hall. He'd walk in and bit clown.
Oh,
Oh, that
that
clown.
upstairs, yeah.
Mhm.
That clown, yeah.
I don't blame them. You're walking up to a dark upstairs, you
And there
turn
was
on the
that
light, and that's the
13
first
foot
thing.
tall,
looming.
12 foot tall
Yeah.
clown, yeah.
Yeah, how that thing didn't end up with, either bullet holes or fried electronics from getting tased. I give the man
That
credit.
would be funny. Maybe that's why it kept running for so long. It kept getting tased.
What's next?
Let's
Short
see.
film in there.
Legal reports none. Announcements?
We
got
do
the
not get
trees?
Gary Shakespeare this year.
Oh,
Did I
no.
mention that?
No.
Because we didn't have anybody come.
Last year, we did.
Last year,
nobody
Our
came.
attendance was not very high and they
Feel
got.
like what, 3 people or 4 people?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it was the two of us, Nick and his family, and
Yeah.
Sharon,
others.
Brenda.
They got
Sue.
an offer to go somewhere else that not only.
Indoors, where they don't have to
Indoors.
swallow mosquitoes
Fair
at the
enough.
same time they're
Where there's
reciting
drills.
lines from
Those
Shakespeare.
mosquitoes were brutal.
And it's a shame
So-
because it's going to be really good. It's measure for measure set in the 1920s. Yeah,
So if you guys want to go, let us know. We'll all go.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it'll be indoor that.
We'll go find a place and go see it.
There we go.
That would
Uh-huh.
be lovely.
And they know about the trees. We're getting the trees.
Community, right.
Yes.
Forgot to, we are getting the trees.
Okay.
Now, they, and I was more than willing to take their advice, came out, did a site visit. Jennifer from NERC and Drew, who is, I believe, with the community program and is an arborist or whatever his
Mhm.
credentials are. I don't know. I didn't meet
I
him.
forget what he was.
He
didn't-
suggested that we not do the fruit-bearing trees that I was thinking might be nice over by the flagpole.
Mhm.
He said one of the reasons is that the deer like them, and
Oh.
we might not see much fruit on them. And the other is one of them I think has thorns.
Oh,
And
okay.
I didn't realize that, so
Mhm.
he suggested that we do basswoods, which are
Mhm.
pretty easy,
Mhm.
fast-growing trees.
they are
But
pretty.
everything else is gonna be fine. We're gonna do the cedars
Yeah.
around on
Oh,
one
there's
end.
river birch by them.
Oh, river birch.
River birch by the
Oh,
flagpoles.
shoot, I told her the wrong thing then.
River birch, basswood they want to do over by town hall.
And
Okay.
basswood they're doing by town hall.
River,
Okay,
river
river
birch,
birch.
and then our jack pines by the cage, we can do
And then the cedars by the lake,
Cedars by
the
the lake.
pond.
by the pond.
So, yeah, no, I need to email her back.
And the
Okay.
jack pines that they said that we can try to do over by the cage area, so it's around in that area underneath those oaks. We have to put fencing around those for the first 3 years because deer love
Around
to
the
come
trees
and-
themselves.
when they're doing their antlers, they like to come rub against them and break them.
Oh,
And knock them.
okay.
Yeah,
So he said like, three fence posts, and he said turkey wire, which is heavy.
Yeah.
chicken
Yeah, it
wire.
doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
the
So-
area doesn't have to be fenced. The
Yeah,
trees
just
have to
Until they
have
get
a
established.
guard.
yeah,
So,
I've seen
yeah.
what
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Oh,
So-
that was the other thing. Speaking of turkey wire. Do I have a motion to buy chicken wire so we can wrap the trees around by the river, by our little water area?
I'll
Because
make,
that beaver has started to take a liking to the bigger trees now.
Yeah, I was gonna get out there with you and take a look at that and see if we need to either just wrap the trees or do we need to do fence posts around them and,
Yeah.
we need to investigate
Yeah,
that. but
yeah, listen.
Yes.
I would say just so that we don't have to wait until the following month, maybe just do a motion to approve chicken wire if that's the way to go.
yes,
Or
Some sort of protection for the trees.
chicken wire is, I have looked this up and I do know that chicken wire is what is recommended.
Yep.
That you put it around it and they will not gnaw if you do that properly.
okay.
So I will make the motion that
I'll
we
second.
purchase chicken wire.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Chicken wire.
Chicken wire.
geese. We have some of the green left.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think we need to decide when we want to put that up to deter. And I think we need to be a little bit more aggressive when we pound in stakes this time if we can.
And we can, because we'll use those stakes we got from John.
And those are much more assertive stakes.
And we've got the pounder thing for it.
Mhm.
So we'll do a better job of putting those stakes up, but we need to work on those over the next week or so, I think.
So we bought 3 rolls last year, if I remember
2 or
correctly.
3.
I think it was 3.
I think it was 3. We have a portion of it left. So I would like to know if we could get, I think we can get by with 1 roll, but we possibly would need 2.
So can
And
we-
it's
I would
what,
say buy 2 more rolls.
by
Yeah.
2 more, it's like $50 a roll, I think.
That sounds about right.
So where have we ordered that? Let's,
That was Menards,
okay,
because that's where we buy our hardware.
okay.
Yep.
All right, so we'll get that going.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so, yeah, we'll take a look at the meters fixed, we'll take a look at taps
Mhm.
in the bathrooms. Also, I want to see about taking that urinal off the wall, so we'll see.
Okay.
'Cause it's unsightly and it doesn't function.
All right.
It is unsightly.
All right. And I did ask Velocity about that today too. And he said they're hard to come by.
Well, I don't think we need it.
We just need
I
it
would say
off.
just remove
wall,
it.
yeah.
I mean,
And we could talk to him about removing it and capping everything.
Yeah,
You want me to have
Ask
him ask him that? Okay.
yeah,
I'll
because
ask
that
him
way then, that's one of the things I don't have to do. If we,
Yeah.
I think $500 to put in 2 sets of taps is exorbitant, but,
You should have gone into plumbing, Mr. Photographer.
But,
Well, I also don't know what type he was ordering, so I don't know if those are more
super heavy,
Commercial.
more heavy duty than
probably.
you know.
It's just they don't get
Is it-
used every day.
Yeah. Well, his thing is because I guess Lake Station had wanted to get a quote from him for doing new toilets in their
Mhm.
bathrooms and stuff. They wanted to go porcelain, and he goes, "No,
Why?
I won't give you a quote for that." He goes,
They would just
"These steel ones are
crack and break in the winter.
well. It's not just that. these steel ones are pretty much vandalism proof outside
Yeah.
of, you know,
Yeah.
ripping the,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
grab a hold of the handle and ripping it off or something,
Mhm.
you know,
That's the reason why we don't have glass mirrors in
right.
there.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, but,
I
so,
mean, I get it looks nicer
yeah.
for all of 5 minutes. but-
Right. So
Like I said,
I think, I'm assuming the 500 was more of a, you know,
Yeah.
that's a higher grade, you know, if kids get in, you know, kids try and beat on them, you know, they'll
Yeah.
stand up a little
Okay.
better. That's my
well, I'll take a look and
running
see.
assumption.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
but
I
he-
could see that, but if it was open, you
Mm.
know,
If it was open every
6 to
day.
8 hours every day, but it's not.
Right, it's not. And
So, yeah,
so
Let's take a look. We'll examine.
we'll,
it.
Yeah.
we'll examine it.
I say we
and-
just put an old fashioned pump on it.
There you go, in a
And you
5-gallon
want to wash
bucket.
your
Yeah.
hands?
Yep,
Figure out how to prime it.
Squat pot.
all right,
Okay, so anyway, you'll have Velocity check on removing the urinal,
yeah,
just because that, you know, could be a little more involved or whatever.
yeah,
If not, then I'll take a look at it and see. So we'll find out.
okay. Any other business?
Yes,
Okay,
the fence banner program,
yes,
the phone number. Can we go ahead and get the phone number?
Yeah.
Because I have no way to go do that. I didn't know if you wanted to do it, or does it have to go through Tammy?
so unless we want to have to be reimbursed for it, we're better off going through Tammy.
All right, let's go through
Um,
Tammy. It's Grasshopper, right? We decided that.
Yeah,
I will print out all the Grasshopper information and make a note that I'm doing that, Tony. And get it over to Tammy and get it going, because I don't want to make a banner about the banner programs until I have a phone number to put on the banner
right,
and yada, yada, yada.
yep,
Mhm.
You know, and then we can put that all on the town website and whatnot.
yep,
Okay.
all right. Any other business? Open forum for community. Comments from board members.
I think we all of us and anybody else that we can enlist need to spend us, to try to go through the park or by the park at regular intervals. I'm seeing a lot of kind of attempts at vandalism at the
Mhm.
park. Like I've mentioned that they're taking those landscaping blocks and smashing them
Yeah.
on the playground or smashing them in the court,
Mhm.
throwing them in the pond. There's paint. It looks like somebody tried to graffiti something on one of the bathroom doors and
Oh.
didn't accomplish
didn't
their
see that,
task.
yeah.
No.
You know, there's just like people have been picking at stuff. Picnic table was moved in the wrong place. Who did you guys move it back?
The
No.
one underneath the pavilion?
Canopy?
Yeah, I moved that back.
Okay. So
'Cause
things
the,
like, yeah,
Wooden one that's out by the light post was also kind of up on its side.
Oh.
things like this. There's a couple of rough kids that I told you about the
Mhm.
admonishment I had to deliver.
Yep.
The berating.
So,
But yeah, I just think if we can, just swing by, swing through with lights on, and
Yeah.
the more regularly we can do that, the more often we might be interrupting somebody doing something
Yeah.
that we'd rather they weren't doing.
yeah,
I have seen more of a police
Well, there-
presence in
Well, I
there.
see Mayo Park. I take my
I've
mom to
seen-
Hobart every day, and
I have seen
There's
more of a
nobody
police
really there.
presence. So,
in mid-afternoon, it's probably
Yeah.
after.
It's after school
School.
it gets out.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's
And
I
on
see
the
Mayo
weekends.
parked over there once in a
Yeah.
while,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's in the middle of the day, you know?
But we
Oh, I've
came,
seen
I
them
mean, the
after
other day we
dark.
came and there was somebody's been digging up asphalt or dropping it off because we're finding
saw
big
that.
chunks of
yeah,
asphalt
I
that we
don't know
have
where
to
it's-
pitch. We
I
can't
wonder-
figure out where it came from.
Because it had been cut.
yeah,
It was a
Right.
chunk of asphalt that somebody had actually
yeah,
run some sort of saw through and cut, because it had one edge that was.
Diamond blade or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird.
And whether they dropped it off there or what, I don't
I
know.
didn't know where.
But
it
then
came
also the brand new cushy safety surface,
mhm.
somebody had left big chunks of concrete on it. And I kind of combed the camera to see if I could identify when it happened
Mhm.
or who did it, but I didn't have any luck.
Okay.
Or what it was about, you know?
Last,
One more thing too after you.
Oh,
yeah.
I know one more thing too.
So my last thing, this came from Robert. This was the thing to possibly help like keep like junk and, well, not keep junk out, but like get
Oh.
junk out of the
Pond?
pond. So if you guys
Oh,
want to
right,
look over
right, right,
that.
right, right, right,
Okay.
right. The Marley float thing?
Yep.
The skimmer, yeah.
So I think that if you're on price, that might not be a bad thing. Because one of the things that we're gonna have to do for the spring cleanup, if not a little sooner, depending on how bad these rains are the next few days.
Yeah, is figure out those drains in and out, right?
Well, it's just the drain closest to Lake Park.
Yeah,
There's so much, I think the beaver attempted to build a dam and he's almost succeeded.
mhm.
Well, and those loose pieces float. That's why Robert George and his crew cleared that out last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, they came over
Indeed.
with the backhoe.
yeah.
And
And I may, depending on how much is there, we may need to recruit them again. for
Yeah, we
that.
might need
Mhm.
to. But those wattles, I've seen them in other places and they make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, I kept wanting to, I investigated these for our hill at one point in time, but, yeah, they would be good.
Okay,
Plus the kids do love to go down there and throw stuff in.
yeah,
I've seen kids take things out of the garbage cans and go over there and throw them in the pond.
all right.
Mulch.
yes.
Do we want to get that really, the mulch, it was about $1,600, right? That I sent you the information on from Greg Beltman.
Okay,
It's wood mulch. It's engineered wood ground up.
Okay.
That's why it's so cheap. But if we could get, because it's unlikely that, I got all the grants in to Mervin's office, but his budget got cut by the Republican administration, $11 billion or whatever to
Right.
Northwest
No,
Indiana.
yeah.
So that was really devastating. But if we wanted to do something, we could do just those two areas at Twin Oaks. We're not going to be able to do the other two parks with that amount,
Mhm.
but we could do the big play area
Mhm.
where the weeds are so bad. And some of those are nasty stickery weeds. And we spray, which doesn't really do any good. And under the swings,
Yeah.
the old swings.
Yeah,
Mhm.
If we could get at least a couple inches under them, it would,
Yeah.
because the little kids can't even get in it. It's so deep now. The swings
Right.
are this high.
you said it was 1,600?
for 60,
30 tons, I think it was, which seems like a lot
I
of
thought it was
mulch.
60 tons.
Hang on,
Should
I'm gonna
be.
look it up. Greg. All right, what do I wanna do? Okay, so he must have emailed that to me. All right, I thought it was all on my text stream. Okay, primary, Greg. EWF quote. 60 tons is 150 cubic yards. That can be delivered to one location for $2,934. But for what? $24 cubic yards of EWF is $1,008. That's 60 tons. Or wait, no, wait. Oh, well, let's table that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay,
No worries.
The math is all beyond me right now. I apologize.
that's it. I was gonna say, we can map it up later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. And the other thing I was gonna throw out that we talked about before, but is there some way that we can do some striping and actually demark the basketball court? Is there something that,
We had, I don't know if we still have, a striper
Mhm.
in the,
Yep, it's still there.
yeah, we just gotta buy the cans of paint to
okay,
'Cause I think it's one of those that you just take the like spray can, stick it in
Plug it
there.
in
and-
and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does it make a really crisp line or is it gonna be like a fuzzy spray
It,
paint
it
line?
should be a decently crisp line,
yeah.
Okay.
because I think we used it for the parking lot lines, didn't we, at one point?
Mm-mm.
I thought we did.
I don't think lines have been done on the parking lot.
Lines haven't been done in the parking lot since,
What am I
it was last
thinking?
resealed.
Yeah.
What
And that was
am
all
I
done by the
thinking?
contractor.
We can always just try it out
Yeah.
in like a corner or something.
Yeah, we can experiment. I just,
Yeah, just take a
just-
leaf blower, kind of,
Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, ideally, some nice sporting goods company would sponsor painting it so that it could have their name spray painted on it.
a little
It's
circle.
just, it gets a lot of use.
It does.
It gets a lot of use and it, you know, and it's
Yeah.
a not very expensive add-on to
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
put the
Make it
center
look a
court,
little
put the
nicer.
free fill line, just mark it up.
yeah,
So,
Yeah, that's something we heard the kids saying
yeah.
last summer.
Yeah.
yes, that's where
Well,
I
if there were
remember they got
lines
that.
on the, that's what, yeah, we
So
know.
we can experiment with the,
Yeah.
the liner, spray liner.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. You'll have to help me with that, 'cause I don't know how that works. but We'll figure it out.
Gonna be right there with you, because I've never used one of those.
Come on, I thought you guys.
Turn the
this was your
can
work.
upside down and go,
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say, I think it's
It
just
should-
basically
yeah,
the
it-
same as our.
Yeah, it
thing,
should be
just-
the same as our wands, just on a larger scale.
Yeah.
So,
All right, we'll take a look at that. We'll put
Yeah.
that into the works. Okay, I'm done.
okay. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye, aye,
Let me turn off our.
Goodbye, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.
Actually, there's been
See you
like
next week.
seven